The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Thursday, December 20th, 2018, season 14, episode number 100. Welcome to another edition of The Break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, talking Cowboys football with you guys for 45 minutes here today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay offense, the Tampa Bay defense. Dave will give us a scouting report on both. In the final segment, we will get with our guy Steve Buchanan from DraftKings, talk a little bit of championship fantasy football. And we'll also take questions. You guys got some questions, some comments? 888-855-2297 is the number. We'd love to hear from you guys. So how's everybody doing today? Jeez.
I was waiting. I'm so good. I was waiting to see what everybody else said, but I'm great.
Okay.
But I don't know. I didn't want to speak for everybody else.
You didn't have to. You could have spoken for yourself.
But I didn't want to jump in front of everybody else.
My perception is that everybody seems to be in a good mood today.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're in a good mood today?
Yeah.
All right, good. Good. This is going to be a spicy show then. I like it when you're in a good mood. Nick, you good?
Good, fair.
All right, let's jump in. Let's talk first about injuries.
Are you good, Derek?
Thank you for asking. Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm very good today. All right, so let's talk about injuries first. We got three guys that did not practice yesterday.
Zach Martin's back.
Oh, I was just about to mention this name as a did not practice yesterday.
Zach
but you're saying
Martin's
he's back. Is he healthy?
No.
Would you sit him?
He hasn't been healthy.
He hasn't been healthy all year.
I know, but
No, I wouldn't sit him.
You're like, we got to go all in.
He's the best player on this team.
This is the
He's
playoffs.
a tough MFer. He's ready to go.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, well, I scratch that last statement. I don't know if he's ready to go. It's Thursday. It's very encouraging that he's back to practice. But we'll see. But I mean, he's a tough son of a gun. He's a great player. I think that if their backs had truly been against the wall against Indy, he probably could have gutted through that too. It's an assumption on my part, but just knowing the type of guy he is, I think he could have. And I definitely think he can gut through it this week.
So there's no opinion, I guess, on this panel that if he's not, and I don't even want to say 100%, if he's still hurt, that you would sit him this week because you're thinking of the big picture and the playoffs.
Big picture starts to look kind of iffy if you don't win this game.
Right.
This is the playoffs.
I'm not trying to go to the Meadowlands and not have a playoff
I think that's
spot.
a bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you go win this game. You get him out there, play, and let's win this game, and then sit him for the Giants game if you need to. I mean, or you probably would. You'd sit a few people for that game if you can. You got to win this one. This is the one to win. This is the most winnable game on your schedule right now.
So outside of that, the Cowboys injury report looks actually pretty good. The only other guys that did not practice yesterday are David Irving, Jeff Swain, which we expected. We don't expect that they'll be back this week, so you can pretty much kind of write those guys off. But there were a couple guys that were limited. Tavon Austin limited with the groin injury, Cole Beasley with the foot, Sean Lee still with the hammy even though he played last week, and then Xavier Su'a-Filo was limited with the eye injury. What are we hearing about those guys? Any of those guys looking like, specifically for Tavon Austin and Xavier Su'a-Filo, because Tavon still hasn't come back yet, and for Su'a-Filo, that injury is just so gruesome, you just don't know if he's going to be able to play. But what are you guys hearing?
Xavier said yesterday that he's hopeful he can play and he intends to, and he's feeling a lot better. You know, he was rocking the Tom Ford sunglasses, keep the light out of his eye, probably keep people from having to look at it too. Probably kind of gnarly looking, but he's out there. I feel good about him being available. And Tavon, you don't want to read too much into it, but he was part of the kind of pre-practice walkthrough that they do today, where they go through some of the stuff they're going to work on air instead of against the defense, and he was part of that. So.
And usually if you do that, the expectation is that that's preparation for game. Like, that's game prep.
Right.
Which would be a positive sign, right?
Yeah,
So,
and I think they're excited about getting him back for punt return. I mean, Beasley's not giving you anything really there other than the guy that catches it. So I think that they're excited about having him back. I don't know about kickoff returns, but they always kick it over their head anyway. So
Yeah. But he's your gadget player. Like, that's
Yeah.
at least the hope
Gadget
that you want to be
player
able to do a lot of those
slash
different kinds of
punt
things.
returner.
Yeah.
I think
I
much
think that's a gadget too, huh?
much like Sean Lee only played 7 snaps. If let's say Tavon plays, I bet it would be. They're not just gonna open everything up with him. Not that they really ever were, but I think he would mainly be your return man to start, and a very limited offensive role would be my guess. But yeah, I feel good about him playing.
I was just gonna make a comment about Xavier for those who don't really know. He basically told me that it looked like when a fighter gets punched right in the eye and then it gets super swollen to where your eye is literally shut. So he said the swelling is going down. He's putting in drops throughout the day, and he didn't really show me, but I saw it from the side. It did seem a little less swollen, but all of it is still purple, like a whole black eye all around.
Whole
it.
area.
Yeah.
If you
It
go
was
watch,
pretty bad.
if you go watch the video of him, yes, he did a media interview and there's a video. He wore his sunglasses in the interview, which is great. But
He's not the only one that wears sunglasses in the house.
Yeah, no, I know. I was like, well, Jalen does that every week, so
Yeah, right.
But underneath, you can see it's like purple and gray, just all like
You can
I
even
said,
see it outside of the.
gnarly is a great word for it. Like, yeah.
Can I get a legal hands to the face? I mean, if this is going on,
What if it
Still on
was?
this.
What if it was Lyle that did it? You gonna
Right.
flag your own teammate?
was it?
That's Xavier said he didn't know for sure, but that's kind of the word coming from it was that Lyle was the guy. Xavier said he didn't know for sure, but
Because I did go back and look at it, and it does look like the Colts guy has got his hands like right there. So I mean,
Like he's got his hand on his face.
yeah, but I mean, it would have been a nice penalty. I mean, if you're gonna you lose your guard for the game on 4th down and the guy fumbles, it would have been a nice penalty to have 1st and goal.
First down
two.
at the-
It might got a field goal out of
Maybe
that.
at the half-yard line.
I don't know.
First and goal.
I don't know if they score out of that with Adam Redmond coming into the game right off the bat.
Got 3 shots, so 4 shots.
Probably 3. Yeah. No, I think that it would just one of those plays where, you talk about a fighter, it happens where they get punched on 50 times, or like in Rocky, like 1,000 times. And that's what happens. One punch, one finger to the eye inadvertently.
yeah, but that's I wasn't there. I don't know, but I think he had somebody's digit like a couple knuckles deep in his eye.
I said that a couple times. I don't need to know the image.
I'm just saying, like, this ain't like he got, he didn't poke himself while he was putting his contact
Right.
in. This thing was like all the way in there. Yeah, it's gross. It's real gross.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's move on.
Sorry.
Let's move on. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Tampa Bay offense. Dave, give us your scouting report on this Tampa Bay offense that right now is ranked 3rd in the NFL.
Big plays, good and bad. Well, no,
For you and for them.
For real. This is, it's backyard football. You got a cannon-armed quarterback and some really scary wide receivers, especially if DeSean Jackson comes back this week, which it's trending that will happen. We'll see. But Mike Evans is averaging 18 yards per catch, which as a 1,300-yard receiver, that's hard to do. Like when you're talking about a high volume of catches, that's hard to do. DeSean Jackson's been missing with a broken thumb for a decent chunk of the season, 19 yards per catch. Like we knew that about him, but he's still pretty scary. Even, this is like year 12 for him or something like that. 3rd in total offense, 1st in passing offense, 28th in rushing. Only 25 points per game, which that's the other thing. They just love to give the ball away, which to Nick's point from yesterday, that's why Jameis Winston hasn't been the quarterback all year. He's obviously suspended to start. Ryan Fitzpatrick comes in, plays great. Jameis comes back. They've been swapping him in and out. 32 total giveaways this year. They are minus 16 in turnover differential. Jameis has 13 interceptions, and he's missed like 5 starts. So 13 interceptions in 9 or 10 games.
Wait, he's missed how many starts?
Well, he got benched for 2 and then missed another 2.
Yeah, but he started the season. Didn't he start the season with 4?
Was it 4?
3.
3 games.
3
game suspension.
Then so he's
Okay.
missed like 5 games.
All right. I was just figuring it out. I didn't know if you had factored that in the games
No.
he missed at the beginning of the season for the suspension. Yeah.
13 picks in 9 games, give or take.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, not great.
Yeah.
And that's why, they benched him. He's been back for a little while. He's been back since like October 28th, I think. So he's been in there. So I mean, it's feast and famine with these guys. They are better at running the ball than I don't want to fall into the same trap 2 weeks in a row. Like, the Colts were supposedly terrible at running the ball. The stats say they're not great. They ran it 21 times for 85 yards against Baltimore last week. Peyton Barber was averaging 5 yards per carry. So I don't want to say that they can't do it.
It's a good defense they did that against.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not great at it. And I don't want to say it for the second week in a row either. Peyton Barber's not the scariest running back that they're going to play this year, but neither was Marlon Mack. So something to watch. I'll be curious to see how the run defense rebounds. I don't think this offensive line is as good as the Colts. They've given up 37 sacks this year. I don't know. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have one question. You talked about their big play ability. I can't recall, but has there been a game this season where the Cowboys have particularly been susceptible to big plays? Like
Seattle.
Just gotten beat up like that.
Seattle
was early on.
They didn't have Xavier Woods at the time. But they gave up a 52-yard touchdown to Tyler Lockett and a 30-something yarder to one of their Jerron Brown, I think. And then Detroit the week after that, Golden Tate torched him twice. Yeah. So it was a while.
I remember early in the year a couple times. I mean, and Hopkins didn't really have big play down the field. It was just like weaving through everybody. But I think in the last few weeks they've really the last 7 weeks.
They did give a big play this last game, but it wasn't. To me, I didn't think of that as a problem for them. They couldn't stop the run. That was the issue. And so I know they've had moments when they've given up big plays. I didn't recall them that being like the theme of a game where they just could not. They were just getting beat up downfield.
Don't they have another 1,000-yard receiver? Godwin.
They have Godwin. Does he have I don't think he has 1,000 yards.
That'd be shocking to me.
And they have Adam Humphries too, which is, Cole Beasley 2.0. Hello. He's the same guy. Carbon copy almost.
Cheaper,
slot receiver.
Maybe cheaper.
Well, I guess we'll see.
What's he do on Twitter? Is he rap?
He does not rap. No.
What does he do on Twitter?
He's got Godwin's got about 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. Inconsistent. Just Godwin and honestly, Evans he'll drop one on you from time to time. Godwin definitely. I liked him a lot coming out of Penn State. He's hit and miss, and I would rather play Chris Godwin than DeSean Jackson. Just DeSean Jackson kills these guys all the time, which I'm fascinated. If DeSean Jackson does play, you would assume Byron Jones wants to match up with Mike Evans as much as possible, which welcome to the Pro Bowl. Have fun dealing with a tight end that can run like a receiver, basically. Yeah. But what do you do with DeSean Jackson? You got to pick your poison between those two guys. And Cheeto Wouzier, once again, tough luck loser. You're going to draw a tough assignment regardless because it'll be the guy that Byron isn't on.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I don't know that this is a week I necessarily say I want to travel. I think of traveling a guy when it's like him, it's one receiver, and then everybody else is just whatever. I think this is a week where you've got a couple different good players. So you stick with where your guys are. You don't necessarily have to travel. Just wherever they line up, you just cover the guy that's in front of you, right?
I agree. And this team, they don't travel an extraordinary amount anyway, but I want Byron Jones on Evans as much as possible because Byron is so physical and he's got the athleticism to hang with a guy like that, which if you're going to get away with the amount of contact that Byron prefers to play with, it would be against a bigger receiver like this. So
you got to blitz Jameis because he's obviously not.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere, but that's where the big plays probably come in because he's like, all right, if I'm getting pressured, I'm gonna throw it up. I'll throw it up to Evans. I like my chances there, or throw it deep to Jackson. That's where I bet they get a lot of chunk plays, and they probably get a lot of bad plays as well.
Jameis is just gonna heave it downfield more times in this game than Dak probably has all year. Seriously. I believe that.
Heath's going to get 2 interceptions.
This would be This is the game where Jameis has a ridiculous.
He's always right there.
He's got a ridiculous amount of confidence in his arm, probably too much. 13 picks. So this defense should be able to get a pick or two in this game. And even you don't even have to break in front of the ball. bat it up and let somebody else, whatever it takes. But they need to force some takeaways in this game. Playing at home against a quarterback that likes to give the ball away, and they're going to be throwing it a lot. So the other thing, you can't let them embarrass you on the ground, for lack of a better word, because they shouldn't be able to dictate this game with their running game. Obviously, the Colts did that. Like I said, Ali Marpet's a good player. Donovan Smith is a pretty good player. I don't think this offensive line is as good as the Colts was, though. So
yeah. All right, let's take our first break. We'll come back. Dave's going to give us a scouting report on the defense, the Tampa defense, and how that matches up with the Cowboys offense. We'll do that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right. News and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized Intense Therapy lip balm and a Cowboys can cooler. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
While a player can look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Back to the break.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, talking Cowboys versus Buccaneers. Dave gave us his offensive scouting report on the Bucs, and now he'll tell us a little bit about the defense. Dave, take it away.
They're bad. They're bad. Derek, Nick, your stat was the best one. So tell everybody your stat from yesterday.
Well, I was looking at the red zone offense for the Cowboys. And if you notice, the Cowboys have struggled in the red zone with their offense. So I was like, yeah, they have. They're not very good, actually. They're 31st in the NFL. Yeah, 43 attempts, 19 touchdowns. That's not good at all. So I was like, oh, okay. Real quick, and the guy was telling me stats, and I was like, wait, real quick, what are the Bucs on defense? He's like, they're last. I was like, what? Really? Are they bad? He's like, 51 attempts that teams have gone in there. They've scored a touchdown 40 times.
Out of the 51.
Out of the 51.
And that's good teams,
40,
bad teams, average teams.
Field goals.
Wow.
So 51 trips inside their 20, and only 3 times that they've got a turnover on downs or missed the field goal. I mean,
the Bucs are allowing a touchdown 78% of the time when the opponent gets to their 20. Cowboys are scoring a touchdown 44% of the time when they get to the opponent's 20.
That could fix a lot of your problems there.
You know? Yeah,
it fixes a lot of your problems.
Yeah. On Buck break now.
We're finally going up against an offense we can stop.
Yeah.
That right. I mean, that's
Maybe it's just called arr, arr, like that Mickey drop we've got.
Yeah, perfect.
If you cannot win in the red zone against this team, then you have some serious major problems.
And
here.
they do.
They do.
They have serious major problems.
Then if
Look at
it happens this
Philo's
week,
eye.
then that's I'm firing somebody.
Okay.
Like that's Amber speaks for the fans because she's like, I don't know who's got to get fired, but somebody's
got to
go. Somebody's going.
Doesn't matter if it's Christmas. Somebody's got to go.
You know what?
Maybe by next week.
That's the end of the rant that you had the other day. You were just ranting, and you didn't really have an ending like that.
Oh, she just let us know.
That's the ending.
Somebody's getting fired.
She just went straight.
I don't think that would be the case. I would imagine they could be successful here because obviously the Cowboys don't struggle getting to that point, to the 20-yard, and they have the tools. They have the tools to do it, and especially going up against this team that's so bad at that, they should be able to.
Well, what are
do
they
something.
bad at though? Just in general, like run.
Let's talk about it. I mean, they're bad at everything. They're giving up 387 yards per game, 259 passing yards, 128 rushing yards. That's all 27th or worse. They're giving up 29 points per game, which is 30th in the league. But the funny thing is, like, they do a lot of stuff similar to the Cowboys. I mean, that sounds dumb because the Cowboys are obviously good at all that stuff, but they've got 16 takeaways, which is just as many as the Cowboys. They've actually got more sacks than the Cowboys. They've got 36. I was surprised to hear this. I mean, Tampa Bay is just a wasteland in terms of, like, they're not covered on a national level. You're not going to learn about the Bucs by watching SportsCenter. Jason Pierre-Paul has 11.5 sacks.
They've got some talent. That's the interesting part about all this.
It would not have guessed that. Yeah, the NFC East cast-off defensive line here. Jason Pierre-Paul's got 11.5 sacks. Bo Allen, you remember him? He's starting at D tackle for these guys. Gerald McCoy.
First-round pick.
Gerald McCoy is probably the new Joe Thomas in the sense of just like a badass player who nobody thinks about because he's stuck in a bad situation.
Yep.
Carl Nassib comes over from the Browns. They claimed him off waivers at the end of the preseason.
Sorry to interrupt.
He's got 6.5 sacks.
Sorry. Do you know the highest amount of sacks they've gotten in one single game?
The Buccaneers?
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Because I'm just wondering if
it's inflated,
kind of well divided,
or they have
throughout
just
the
one
season.
game they got half their sacks, and
I would argue the fact that they've got. I mean, JPP would be leading this team in sacks. And then they've got two guys in Nassib and McCoy who are doing better than the Cowboys guys. I mean, McCoy's got 6 from the D tackle position. So
that's significant.
To have 3 guys with pretty healthy sack numbers, I would guess that it's pretty evenly distributed, but I do not know that off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I mean they do a lot of this stuff the same, except and I mean they got Lavonte David, who we were talking about this before the show. Jalen Smith's not happy about getting snubbed by the Pro Bowl. Like Lavonte David's got 105 tackles, 4 sacks, and a couple recovered fumbles. Like he's a damn good player too. It's linebackers can tally up stats, and there's only so many spots to go around. I wonder mental toughness, for lack of a better word. Like you see a lot of similarities here, and then you see that they're giving up a score 78% of the time in the red zone. Cowboys defense, for comparison, is 50%. 20 times, only 20 times in 40 trips have they given up a touchdown. And then they've forced at least 5 or 6 turnovers and missed field goals and things like that too. So faring far better. And I just wonder like the mental aspect of that, is like when things aren't going your way, can you buckle down and not let it get the better of you?
Or is also part of that your coaching, the person who's making the calls.
Yeah.
The things that they do in the red zone can actually stop teams from scoring touchdowns at a higher rate than maybe somebody who doesn't change those things or doesn't have the ability to put a team in the right position in those situations.
Yeah, this seems like a bend and break defense.
Yeah.
Like they're bending all the way because 51 trips is a lot of trips in there, and then they're breaking when they're in there.
And it sounds like this is what the Cowboys would be, but for the fact that they're able to make stops in the red zone.
And that's I don't know. I don't want to go that far because like the Cowboys are 5th in total defense. I mean, they don't. I know they got gas.
They don't let people in the red zone as frequently.
Yeah,
right.
One per game,
11 fewer times.
Yeah, one per game fewer. Yeah.
But I hear you though. I mean,
a game. Yeah.
Right.
If people are getting to the 20 and then zipping down, or so let's say you go to the red zone 4 times in a game, that's 80 extra yards of offense per game. I mean, that stuff matters. So it really, I mean, people don't want to hear bend but don't break, but like in this day and age, it's so easy to accumulate yards between the 20s. Like it's all about how you handle those scoring opportunities. And clearly the Bucs are not good at it. The Cowboys are pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Did you say that the Bucs have 16 turnovers?
Takeaways. Yes.
Did you also say
They're
that
minus 16?
They're minus 16. So my math says that their offense has turned the ball over 32 times.
Twice as many times as their defense has gotten takeaways. 32 giveaways.
God.
It's on it like
It's like
that.
Salvation Army.
I think it's easy to make the argument that turnover differential is like the most important stat in football. It's one of them.
Yeah.
And 32 giveaways on the year. I'm surprised their record's not worse. Honestly,
I mean, that's,
But that also may tell you how good their offense really has been as far as just moving the ball.
They're scary, and they're going to get yards in this game. Again, red zone is what it comes down to. I worry the good stuff on this defense is like down the middle, in my opinion. Gerald McCoy's a beast. They drafted Vita Vea, who is definitely not living up to being a top 10 pick right now, but he is a highly athletic, gigantic 350-pound nose tackle. Could give you problems on the interior of your defensive line, maybe, for one as banged up as this one. Lavonte David is probably he's one of their better defenders. He's been one of the better linebackers in the NFC for a while. And then Brian's really high on this kid, Jordan Whitehead. I remember he's a rookie safety out of Pitt. He's starting as a 4th-round pick rookie. He's not Earl Thomas, but he's playing pretty well. So you've got good players all down the middle of your defense. And for a team that likes to run the ball and doesn't like to have pressure up the middle, and their quarterback doesn't like to throw it over the middle of the field, those things could all be problematic.
So talk to me a little bit about Gerald McCoy, Vita Vea matching up against the center and guards for this team.
I mean, do I need to explain it to you? I mean, did you watch the Colts game? Well, that's
You want to relieve that, Derek? You want to?
No, I'm asking the question of, do you think that can be a big enough problem where it really affects the Cowboys' ability to do what they want to do? Because you can talk about the run game. Cowboys aren't afraid to run the ball on the outside too, so they don't necessarily have to run it up the middle in order to be productive. My question is, can these defensive tackles wreck this game? Are they that good based upon what you have?
No, I'm just going to say no, because if they were that good, they're not letting 40 touchdowns go inside the red zone. That's where you buckle down. I don't think so. I think we're talking about a guy that was a really good player a few years ago.
Who, McCoy?
McCoy. I mean, he's probably still up there. Vita Vea, I mean, he's probably got some ways to go as a first-round pick still. I mean, I just don't think – numbers will tell you they're not wrecking anything right now. Like, that doesn't mean that Adam Redmond's going to push him off the ball or anybody, or just Looney or Connor Williams or whatever. I'm just saying this is definitely one of those games where you don't look at it and you say, they're not that good on defense. We can rest Zach. No, you need to play Zach Martin. Don't neutralize yourself.
I sure would feel better about this game if Zach can play. Like, that will make me feel a lot better.
Zach can still feel pretty good. They can hold up against that defensive. And that's my question.
They'll make Looney better.
Yes.
So although they're good, they're not so good to where they should be able to consistently beat. If you got your guys, consistently beat your guys.
You've got your guys. Yeah. And I agree with Nick on one instance, but not the other. Which, I mean, Gerald McCoy is a badass player. He's on a bad defense, but Jerry Jones loves to say it, like, they pay their guys too. Like, he's a really, really good player. And yeah, if he's going up against Adam Redmond, he probably can wreck this thing for you. So
didn't make me feel great.
Well, don't play your 8th guard. I mean,
Zach, please play. Zach, please play the game.
All right.
And it'll be okay.
All right, let's go ahead and take our final break. We're going to come back. We got our guy Steve Buchanan from DraftKings going to join us, talk a little bit of fantasy football. It's a championship for those of us who are lucky enough skilled enough to be in the championship.
Wow.
So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get some questions from you guys. Give us a call. 888-855-2297 is our number. Again, 888-855-2297. We'll be right back. This is The Break.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It's time for Tailgate with the OtterBox boys.
OtterBox? The makers of those crazy protective phone cases?
The one and only. They're also wild about protecting parking lot parties from sad drinks. It's why they made elevation tumblers.
Rumor around the crock pot is they're made from stainless steel with a copper lining to keep temps hot or cold.
True, they even come in 7 different sizes, up to 64 ounce, the growler.
I like how OtterBox drinks. Thinks.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Check out all the colors and sizes of their elevation tumblers at otterbox.com.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Playmaker, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The Playmaker includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized Intense Therapy lip balm and a Cowboys can cooler. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word Cowboys. The Jack Black Playmaker, $10, free shipping.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to the break.
Welcome back. We're in the final segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Amber, tell us about Tommy John.
Yes. I sure will. Pick your plays, not your wedgies. Tommy John is the most comfortable underwear in the whole wild world and comes backed by a non-wedgie and no wedgie guarantee. If you suffer a wedgie sucks. Don't be suffering wedgies.
Nope.
So if you suffer one, Tommy John will give you your money back guaranteed. Yep. So shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order.
That's great.
No wedgie.
She should do it every day.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
She said wedgie 5 times in about a minute.
Because you do not want wedgies.
You do not.
You know how uncomfortable wedgies are?
They're not great.
No.
Yeah.
So get away from those. Get your Tommy John now.
And you don't want people seeing you like trying to pick it out.
Nope.
So yeah,
That's
Tommy
nasty.
John will help you with that.
That's so nasty. All right, let's go on. Let's move on. We got our guy. We got our guy Steve Buchanan from DraftKings. Steve, what's up?
How's it going, everyone? How's it going?
Hey. Good. How you been?
Very good. Good to be back.
Good. Yes, we got to jump on this and talk a little bit about championships. I, of course, have won one championship. I'm in another championship this weekend. So for people like me,
pretty good with a broken arm. Have to pat yourself on the back.
Just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, just for people like me, give me just a couple things. There are a couple different instances around the league where players are out or you're having to kind of fill in. Give me I guess we could start first with a guy like Jalen Samuels and James Conner. I'm sorry.
Do that every
being
week.
out. Yeah, James Conner being out. What do you think about a guy like Jalen Samuels? I know he had a big week last week, but this week playing a really good New Orleans defense. What would you do with a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, this is not really a week to be looking at those guys on the ground. I mean, New Orleans has had a shoddy defense overall, but where they've been strong is on the ground. And we've seen Samuels in a couple of games now, and he had that huge game against New England, but that's like night and day when you're going up against the Saints. They have just been absolutely stifling to opposing running backs. I feel like this is going to be a bad spot for them here. This is really a game where it's going to be on the shoulders of Ben Roethlisberger and what he can do through the air. And one of the spots the Saints have been so poor against is slot receivers. And, Juju Smith-Schuster jumps right off there. So I feel like that's going to be the guys that are going to have to rely on this spot. It's just a really, really bad matchup for their running backs this week.
Steve, for guys like, that are in the consolation game, maybe in the third place game, look at the Bucs and Cowboys matchup. I mean, it seems like the Bucs, so we just talked about their offense, they don't put up a lot of points. They do put up a lot of yards, though. Those are guys that you want to look at?
Yeah, and one thing, too, is that DeSean Jackson was practicing again today, and that gives them that deep threat that really they've been missing. Chris Godwin's taken most of the snaps over since Jackson has been out, but the thing with Jackson is he can just get downfield so quickly. He averages about 18.8 yards per reception, while Godwin's around 12, so that gives them that deep threat that they've been missing, and that's something that I think that Winston can kind of rely upon in this game. But, man, if this is a bounce-back spot for the Cowboys, I mean, this is definitely the defense you want to look at. I mean, 386 total yards per game that they allow, which is the fifth highest in the league. And they've also run over 103 rushing yards in 5 straight weeks now. That's been an area that just been getting ripped. So, overall, I feel like this is a great spot for the Cowboys at this spot. But I think Jackson will definitely help that offense this week.
We had a question from a fan. He was asking for his championship game. There were 3 running backs that he listed: Gus Edwards, James White, Melvin Gordon. Obviously, Melvin Gordon coming back from the injury. I'm not even sure what his status is right now. But what do you think about those guys and where you would go, assuming, first of all, that Gordon is not going to play? Because obviously if he's playing, he's I think the best of these 3, I would guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you can get Gordon in your lineup, that's obviously something you look at. But Baltimore's one of the best run defenses in the game. I mean, it doesn't really matter who they've been playing. I mean, they've really been top dogs aside from the Titans when it comes to defending the run. I'm a little inclined to kind of go with White here, especially with the news that, Josh Gordon is no longer with the team, stepping away from the game of football because he's got the suspension incoming. They got to spread those targets around somewhere. Chris Hogan's not really a guy you want to rely upon. So this could open up some opportunities for James White, especially against the Bills defense that has been strong against the pass, but not so strong on the ground. So I'm a little inclined to go with him here. With the news that Gordon is no longer with the team. If you had asked me yesterday, White wouldn't have been my first choice, but it looks a little more interesting now with the news there.
I'm kind of curious about that. You talked about the Patriots. When you're putting values on guys, are the Patriots the most frustrating team to try to assign point values to, because they've got 17 players over there and they all do a little bit? I mean, Brady's the one. Brady's the one that's gonna throw the ball around, but you never know. They have like 3 backs and 5 receivers, and the tight end hasn't been that good. And
well, running back is the most maddening thing because they got Sonny Michel, they have James White, and then when it comes to goal line, you think it's Rex Burkhead, but nope, it's actually going to be James Devlin because what the hell? Why not? It's one of the most aggravating things in terms of fantasy purposes to try to decipher, but. At least without Gordon, at least we can condense some of the receiver targets a bit more this week. But yeah, they just really, it's such a crapshoot when you're trying to figure out who to pair Tom Brady with because it always seems like the game plan is different every other week. But the loss of Gordon I think it's going to be pretty tough on them. He was that guy that, it seems like he could catch anything and that deep downfield threat, and they really don't have that anymore without Gordon. Their receivers are pretty thin this year, and it's really going to make them tough down the stretch.
As a paid professional, how do you cope with the silliness of this game? And I'm asking because I'm still butthurt, for lack of a better phrase, about the way my season ended. And if you're not in the championship game, you probably are.
Right. Most people listening
Gurley or
something. You can have the best laid plan in the world, and this game will just smash your heart into a million pieces. So, like I said, you get paid to do this. Obviously, you know better than anybody else, and you can still be wrong. And just how do you cope with that?
It's tough. I mean, for somebody that had Le'Veon Bell and Kareem Hunt, it's been a brutal season for me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're throwing a few pillows and remotes, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job, but, there's nothing more frustrating than, when you get paid to do this. And, come week 11, I'm tanking on purpose so I can get a good draft pick for next year.
Wow.
Tanking in fantasy now.
Got to do what you got to do. Hey, Dynasty Leagues, baby.
Hey, this is Steve Buchanan from DraftKings. I have one more.
It's my turn then.
Whoa, go ahead.
Let's get in there.
Let me get in there. As a fantasy rookie aspiring to beat a cocky person like Derek Eagleton in the near future, someone that's just starting out, what would be the best way to kind of keep up with the whole NFL and all these players and kind of figure out who to play and get all that information from? Because I mean, I can't even imagine keeping up with so many players and their statuses, their injuries, and all of that stuff.
Well, that's a perfect segue for a shameless plug.
Yeah, I was about to say, here's your layup.
I work on the DK Live app, and especially for fantasy, even if you're not playing daily fantasy, we have all these alerts and pushes to your phone when things happen, when injuries occur. We get him out there as soon as possible, and then analysis on how that affects the rest of the rosters and such like that. So just having that available, all the information is just in one spot. We post all the tweet updates for you. We have our blurbs on who to roster and who to not. So it's really useful to kind of get that all in one place because, you go on the Twitter sphere and then you just get lost in this massive information. 90% of it is useless. So we try to get rid of the 90% that's not useful, useless, and try to get it into that good 10% there that you can use. So I definitely would recommend that. It's available on iPhone and Android.
That's good feedback. I just downloaded it as we were talking. I didn't even realize that you guys had that out there. It sounds like a great tool.
So I just helped you out?
You just helped me out, and my league is now really mad because I'm already winning, and now I have an extra tool that's going to help me.
You can watch better. You can watch the show The Sweat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you've been on that.
I have. Yeah, that's why I know about it. You can watch the show. And hey, I do know this. I was on waiting for about 10 minutes before my segment, and I was like watching these guys talk about the NBA. It was the most detailed stuff I've ever. I mean, talking about just trends and. I didn't know anything about this stuff in the NBA, so it is very detailed stuff.
All right, Steve, man, we really appreciate you.
Sure.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I think it's good for educational purposes to help you learn the game for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Definitely.
We appreciate you taking some time with us. Good luck to you this weekend. Have a great Christmas and a happy holidays, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, guys. You too. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that was Steve Buchanan with DraftKings talking fantasy football with us. Nick?
What is Leighton Vander Esch and Connor Williams like? What are they this year?
Rookies.
I like that.
I like how she says that.
A rookie?
Rookie.
All right, let's jump back in. We do have a question from a fan, Horace in Atlanta. Let's go to him on the phone lines. What do we got?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey.
I agree with Amber. I believe if they can't really get it in the end zone, somebody's got to go, and I believe that should be the offensive coordinator. Now, I don't agree with Nick. I don't think Dak should go, or maybe you weren't. I don't know.
Didn't say that. I didn't say that.
When that question came up.
I didn't say Dak should go.
Well, you said the one of the offensive coordinator and the QB, somebody's got to go, or something like that. So I don't know, but we know what it's like to have a bad quarterback, and there's no way I would trade a quarterback in 3 seasons that has just as many wins as Tom Brady. That would be ludicrous. I would think that that's not the way to go.
Well, who are you arguing
my
against?
Question,
like, who would you argue against? Like, who says that you should trade away Dak Prescott?
Oh no, I didn't say it. I don't think that we should. I don't think. But I thought
it would be ludicrous to do that.
That the offensive coordinator or Scott Linehan or Dak, because something is wrong after we didn't score.
Right.
That's what I was wondering. Because
I'll clarify my comment after that.
Okay. I appreciate it. Yeah, but because I believe our quarterback we hit people in the hands with balls and they dropping them. But my question is that when we get in the red zone, why don't we just give the ball to Zeke like 3 times in a row? What is the fault with that? Of just saying, look, I would get in Zach Martin's face and Lyle Collins' face, and I say, look, we're running on your side. You're the highest paid player. You're supposed to be a good draft pick. You run. We're gonna run behind you. You make a hole and score. You the first round draft pick back. Get in there in the end zone. I don't see why we can't do that.
All right, thanks for the call.
That's my question. Appreciate it.
And I don't think anyone here disagrees with you. And I think one thing that the Cowboys fail to realize or remember, it seems like, that they look at the stacked boxes or whatever. Nobody in the league pushes the pile better than Zeke to me. And not only that, he is crafty with how he gets the ball and finds the marker and stuff like that. And let him and that power that he's got, he's going to drive some people. Just because you're in his way doesn't mean you're going to bring him down.
Imagine if they did that regularly. He'd have 25, 26 touchdowns in a season. Like I just think the Cowboys way too.
I mean, because you're asking.
I don't know, maybe, but I'll say this. I think that you're right. I think he has a knack for getting the ball where it needs to be, whether it's for a first down on 3rd or 4th and short, or whether it's on the goal line. And so I think if you give him those opportunities, I think he's going to figure out a way to do it without taking a lot of flush hits. Like, he just knows how to find that little seam and dip through it and get the ball out, and there you go. You got a touchdown. I would give him more opportunities to do that.
For the sake of argument, I will point out that Zach did not play in Indianapolis.
Right.
So he wasn't there to do that. But as a season-long trend, yes, it's absolutely ludicrous. I don't know how many more ways we can frame it. I mean, we talk about it every week, and we should. Obviously, they suck at it, so we need to talk about it. But they don't want to do the obvious thing. Right. They think that the obvious thing will be stopped by an NFL defense that is keyed up to do it, which that's kind of insane to me since we've praised them for so many years. They built this around the offensive line, and they're going to run it when nobody thinks they can. And I know that there's been injuries, and not having Travis is huge, but they've played well enough that you should be able to get a yard if you try it 3 times in a row. You just should.
It's almost like saying I have Aaron Rodgers, so they know I'm going to throw it, so I'm just not going to throw it.
Don't do that.
You have an offensive line and a running back. You put resources in because you wanted to be able to run the ball against anybody in any circumstance. So why take that away from yourself?
Jimmy Chitwood.
What?
Jimmy Chitwood. I'll make it. You guys still haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Still haven't,
but I'm just going to keep throwing it out there.
You're going to keep doing it until we decide that we're going to go.
Their total lack of willingness to play bully ball this year is frustrating. And just for I could say this till I'm blue in the face. Like, the offense has been bad, and if it stays this way, like, a change will happen. Like, if they don't win the Super Bowl and they're 31st in red zone and 26th in total offense, something's got to give there. And so us not sitting here calling for people to be fired every day is like, I'm not ignoring that fact. We're in a different spot. Like I said, I've said this before, like, the season is still going on. They're not going to do something like that right now. Just let's see where we are in a month, and then we can have
ride through it, see what happens.
Let me clarify that real quick. What I said last week was I don't think Dak and Linehan are a good pair. I really don't. I think Linehan calls plays that a more accurate quarterback should probably be able to make. However, I think Dak needs a coordinator that can do a little bit more with what his skill set is. And if one's got to go, it's certainly not going to be either or. You keep Dak. Dak is a winner. He's proven that. I believe that is the way to go. And I don't know how much you want to pay him, but I think you'll pay him something. But I do not think anything short of a Super Bowl keeps the offensive coordinator here at all.
All right, we appreciate you guys joining us. We're back tomorrow. We're going to let you guys know what we're going to think is going to happen this Sunday. Cowboys versus Buccaneers. Till then, for Nick Eatman, Dave Hellman, Amber Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!